The lost city of Atlantis, a place so dazzlingly beautiful and rich that it blinded the eyes of those who dreamed of it. A legendary city said to have possessed abundant resources and an advanced civilization, yet destroyed by its own arrogance and swallowed by the ocean overnight. However, among scholars, Atlantis is not simply dismissed as an absurd myth. In fact, Troy, once thought to be even more fictional than Atlantis, was later proven real when actual ruins were discovered, earning its long overdue place in history. Many researchers believe that somewhere out there, traces of Atlantis still remain. Let's take a look at the three most suspicious locations proposed so far as possible sites of the lost city. 1. The Bimini Road. On August 16, 1968, Robert Brush and Trek Adams were flying over the waters near Bimini Island in the Bahamas when they discovered something astonishing. They claimed to have seen something that looked like an ancient ruin briefly rise above the surface before disappearing again. According to their testimony, the structure was a rectangular shape believed to be man-made. Following their announcement, Dr. Joseph Manson Valentine, then director of the Miami Museum, and marine expert Dmitry Rebikov, conducted a detailed investigation around Bimini Island. At the time, Atlantis was still widely regarded as nothing more than a mythical continent. So even though an official expedition was launched, few people expected much. But the results were surprising. They found a large number of seemingly artificial stones in the northern waters off Bimini Island. The stones were all rectangular, each averaging about 2 meters long, 50 centimeters high, and weighing around 1 ton. Intrigued by these reports, archaeologist John Steele immediately headed to Bimini Island. He spent 3 months carefully studying the stones. The visible ruin alone stretched over 1,000 meters. Researchers began to hope that deeper beneath the sand, they could find the rest of Atlantis' remains. Excitement grew when they even discovered a pyramid-like triangular structure nearby. Since there had long been claims that Atlantis and ancient Egypt once traded with each other, this underwater pyramid found near Bimini further fueled the theory that the island could be part of the lost continent. However, the investigation soon hit a dead end. No evidence of human habitation was found at the site. Professor Marlon Ball of the University of Florida argued, the Bimini structures are not man-made, but rather a peculiar type of natural sedimentary formation. He pointed out that the stones lacked any consistent pattern or visible cutting marks. But Dr. John Steele countered that naturally formed stones might have been deliberately moved and arranged by humans to build roads and structures. Jerry Stipp of the University of Miami dated the carbon levels of the Bimini stones and concluded that they were more than 10,000 years off from the time Atlantis supposedly sank, making it highly unlikely that Bimini is the lost Atlantis. These curious stones, also known as the Bimini Road, could they really be ancient ruins? Or are they just an unusual natural formation? 2. Susmassa. Susumassa, located in Morocco. The person who suggested this area could be Atlantis was none other than a computer expert. Michael Hubner from Germany used Plato's Critias to identify 400 candidate sites within a 4,700-kilometer radius of Athens. He then applied 51 geographical variables, described in historical texts, into a program. The computer mapped the regions automatically and ranked them, based on how closely they matched Atlantis' characteristics. The result? Susmassa in Morocco came out on top as the most probable candidate. Atlantis never sank. Hubner argued that this region matched Plato's descriptions in every aspect, with only a 10% margin of size difference, insisting that Atlantis did not sink but still exists as the landmass known as Susmassa. Amazingly, the red and black stones that Plato mentioned in his writings were indeed found in Susmassa. This idea was officially presented at the International Atlantis Conference held in Athens in November 2008, sparking great interest among scholars. Andrew Goff, a well-known presenter of history documentaries, publicly supported Hübner's theory, and so the Seuss Massa Atlantis theory spread even further. However, no excavation could be carried out at the site because Seuss Massa is privately owned by the King of Morocco. Even worse, Hübner died unexpectedly in 2013, making any further investigation and publication impossible. To this day, Seuss Massa remains untouched by any excavation. Could lost relics be sleeping beneath what looks like ordinary land? 3. The Eye of the Sahara. Located in western Mauritania in the Sahara Desert, this massive formation is so large it can only be fully seen from space. Its shape is suspiciously unnatural for something believed to have formed naturally. In September 2018, a new theory was proposed, suggesting that the Eye of the Sahara could be Atlantis. And there are surprisingly compelling pieces of evidence to support this claim. First, its shape. When compared to artistic interpretations based on Plato's descriptions, its form is remarkably similar. There's a huge mountain to the north, and a passage where water once flowed to the south, just as Plato described. Even more intriguing is its size. Plato wrote that Atlantis measured 127 stadia in diameter. Converted to modern units, one stadion is about 185 meters. So 127 stadia would be roughly 23.49 kilometers. The Eye of the Sahara's diameter is about 23.5 kilometers, almost an exact match. It's believed that the Sahara only became a desert about 5,000 years ago. During the period when Atlantis supposedly thrived, this region was not a desert. The fact that the Sahara's sand and clay originated from the ocean adds more weight to the theory. Evidence of erosion caused by seawater has been found at the site, and ancient whale fossils have also been discovered nearby. Research has even confirmed traces of massive underground water channels beneath the desert. Recently, scientists analyzed isotopes in rocks found at the Eye of the Sahara and revealed that the formation has existed since long before Atlantis' alleged rise. Could one of these three places really be the remains of Atlantis? Is the title The Lost City no longer true? This was Midnight Journey.